We partner with brands and help them sell more on Amazon, mainly by scaling up their advertising, helping them find new ways to market, such as affiliate, as well as doing SEO and a lot of the marketing strategy on platform. When we look at how websites or Shopify converts to Amazon, conversion rates on Amazon are about 2.5 to 3 times as high as they are on a Shopify website. When you know that, it makes a ton of sense. If I'm going to invest in affiliate, why not push it to the platform where everyone's actually going to be buying? What we've seen in the past on Shopify is between 1 to 3% conversion rates. 3% is phenomenal. What we see on Amazon, the average conversion rate is about 8%. We have clients that convert as high as 20%. But when it comes to their market share of product searches online, about 70% of all product searches in the US start on Amazon.
Welcome to our Afluencer Podcast. We've got a popular topic today. We're talking affiliate marketing for Amazon stores and brands, and we've got Mike Begg on the line here. Mike is the CEO of AMZ Advisors, which is I'll let Mike describe you, but basically a company, an accelerator that helps brands kind of take things to the next level on Amazon. Am I saying this kind of right, Mike?
Yeah, Brett. I mean, I think you're more or less on the point of what we do. Essentially, we partner with brands and help them sell more on Amazon, mainly by scaling up their advertising, helping them find new ways to market, such as affiliate, as well as doing SEO and a lot of the marketing strategy on platform.
Got it. Yeah, cool. Are a lot of the, should we say, store owners, merchants that you work with on Amazon? I assume that, and I have friends who've done Amazon stores. I know there's a lot of legwork that goes into it, from getting the product made and created and then getting it up onto Amazon. And by the time they do all that, they're usually kind of exhausted for the effort, but the journeys just kind of it's just beginning at that point. Is that right? Where you've got, someone at that point in their life cycle where they've done a lot of work, but now to get those first sales coming in and then to really scale those into something meaningful, that's kind of a lot to go from there. Are these the types of merchants that you're working with AMZ Advisors?
Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of different people selling on Amazon, and a lot of what you're talking about are the private label sellers. Those are the people that are, kind of bootstrapping, doing it all themselves. We, at this point, we work with larger brands that have already been established on Amazon or established online, or even in retail for a while. So, for example, we've worked with brands as big as Burt Bees, Clorox, and we've worked with smaller startups as well, and helped them go from essentially zero to multi-million dollars on Amazon. So it's a variety of different companies we're working with, but they do tend to fall more on the company side than individuals.
Gotcha. Cool. So what's your flow then in terms of how you kind of triage these things and figure out what these leverage points might be in terms of growing? I mean, if you've worked with a Clorox and they're looking to scale their sales, and then you're looking at all the means that they can potentially do that. And you've got SEO, you've got, I don't know if you do review campaigns, you've got affiliates. What are kind of the paces that you go through when you're looking at that marketing portfolio and saying, hey, we should consider these things, and this is where we may want to focus initially?
For sure. And I think it does depend on the company size. I mean, there's no one size fits all strategy. If you're already an established brand, we're looking at where our market share is, whether we think we can gain market share, or at least how we prevent losing market share. If you're more of a startup or a disruptor brand is what we call them on Amazon, we're looking at how we grow your market share. How do we find competitors that are in a weak position where we can start stealing market share from them? And a lot of the different ways we approach that is by looking at our metrics and the data that we're seeing. How do our click-through rates look? How do our conversion rates look? How do our reviews look? All those things are really important in determining how we're going to go out and find the growth levers for those brands. A lot of instances might be retargeting existing people that are coming to the product page. Other instances might be like affiliate. How do I bring more people from outside of Amazon to my product detail pages? Or other instances might be, how do I scale up my advertising to reach more people on Amazon?
Let's get into the affiliate side, since that's so popular with our listeners and watchers here. What do you think about when you think about the affiliate side? You say, hey, we should either launch an affiliate program for this brand, or maybe they've got something, but it's not doing too much. Hey, let's put some more effort into this in terms of scaling it and bringing a lot more affiliates on board.
Yeah, I think there's the most common thing that comes to people's minds when they think of affiliate in Amazon, they think of Amazon Associates, which is really the way that influencers and publishers were previously generating links. Now, on the brand side, there actually is a feature within Amazon called Amazon Attribution, which allows us to create attribution links. And the attribution links are valuable for a variety of different ways. Obviously, attribution, one of them, but that traffic that brands drive through those links also earns them a 10% credit towards their Amazon fees from Amazon. So every sale you get from an affiliate link or an attribution link then also has a benefit for you as a brand owner. So that's one of the first considerations as a brand owner is like, how can I improve my margins by getting these fees back? That's one good way. And then with the attribution side, there's a variety of different ways we can use these attribution links. We can use them with influencers. We can use them with publications, review sites, coupon sites, benefit sites, like all these different platforms where we can really capture attention and start pushing it to Amazon. When we look at how like websites or Shopify converts to Amazon, conversion rates on Amazon are about 2.5 to 3 times as high as they are on a Shopify website. So when you know that, it makes a ton of sense. If I'm going to invest in affiliate, why not push it to the platform where everyone's actually going to be buying?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I got a couple follow-up questions on that one, but let's start with that conversion because that's what's the reason for it? Is it because we're used to buying off of Amazon, and if I just get something in my Amazon cart, it's good to go? Whereas Shopify, and we have lots of Shopify store owners using our app in the Shopify app store, but I mean, I do see when I go to their sites, they all kind of look the same. They're all a little faceless in terms of who's behind it, and it's a little sketchy in terms of putting in your credit card. So I guess if I'm thinking out loud here, that's kind of the reason why maybe Amazon converts higher. Am I right in terms of that just that cart, like once I get something into my cart, it's good, I'm going to buy it?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to buy it, but the chances are much higher. And I think you named a lot of the reasons there. A lot of it's trust. You don't know who these websites are. You don't know if they're legitimate. With Amazon, you at least feel the protection of Amazon. It's like, hey, they don't send me the product. I'm going to be able to get money back from customer service. I'm going to be able to leave a bad review that people are going to see, whatever it may be. There's like different protections that you have as a consumer buying that. And the interesting thing is, I mentioned like 2 to 3 times higher. What we've seen in the past on Shopify is like between 1 to 3% conversion rates. 3% is phenomenal. What we see on Amazon, the average conversion rate is about 8%. We have clients that convert as high as 20%. So like that's a massive difference for a lot of brands. And even the interesting thing is when we look at the affiliate traffic we bring in, it usually converts between 4 to 5%. So you have essentially brand awareness or top of funnel traffic coming in that's still converting really well on the Amazon platform. And yeah, it comes down to those trust factors. Prime 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping at this rate in most places. So all of these different benefits lead to consumers buying more product on Amazon than they would through your Shopify website or whatever other e-commerce platform you're using.
Yeah, that's wild. And then easier to update because all you're doing, I mean, you've got on Amazon, it feels like maybe you've got even less real estate to work with. You've got your product listing page and you have what you have, and it's formulaic more or less, right? In terms of you fill it out where with Shopify, that's going to be your own website. And that's one of those where, I mean, you've built your own sites before. These things can go on forever. There's not necessarily a template on that. So I find that interesting then that would maybe be, less quote unquote work, I guess, to get your Amazon page dialed in, but it's going to convert higher. Yeah,
I mean, it is less work in that sense. I mean, we're not creating as much content. We're not restructuring a website or creating different widgets or whatever else for the page to try to boost conversions. But at the same time, Amazon is a little bit more difficult to deal with in other aspects. I mean, it's not a platform you own. So the biggest concern is brands don't own the consumer data, but you also have a limitation on what you can customize around pricing. That's the biggest challenge that most brands on Amazon see. My prices are lower on my Shopify website or they're lower on Walmart, and now I can't sell on Amazon until that's fixed. So it has its benefits. Obviously, conversions is one of them, but it also has its drawbacks in that you don't have as much control. You kind of have to play by Amazon's rules, and that's why we see a lot of brands are hesitant to deal with Amazon. But at the end of the day, just like where people are shopping, where people are actually searching for products, it's all on Amazon. So you really have to maximize your presence there to generate revenue.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, you got to be there. Are they still half of all e-commerce sales or something crazy like that?
I don't have the updated numbers on the actual percentage share or market share of e-commerce sales. But when it comes to their market share of product searches online, about 70% of all product searches in the US start on Amazon versus
70.
like
That's
Google.
wild.
Yeah. So like that's just massive in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. So that's the starting point. So you're not going to Google, you're going to Amazon to search.
Exactly.
Starting point. Yeah, that's interesting. When did those attribution links come out? Because those seem like a big deal. especially having those baked in. I know, and again, we got, the Shopify experience in terms of building those apps, but you need a dedicated app that's going to do the tracking for you. That's not baked into Shopify itself. So that sounds like a big advantage, having the Amazon attribution links. Is that a relatively new feature on their end?
It's probably about 3 years old at this point.
Okay.
But most brands aren't using it, and I think that's probably why it might sound newer. We work with about 100 brands at this point, and of the 100 brands, only about 15 are using attribution. So whenever we start working with a new brand, we're like, hey, like, we're going to start doing this affiliate marketing, we're going to get you going. But it's interesting that so few of them are aware of it or use it, especially when it has the benefits of tracking the traffic, of the brand referral bonus, which is the credit back from Amazon, and just the ability to retarget. And another thing is the cost per click is much lower if we think of it in that perspective. So a good example here, Prime Day. Prime Day just happened a little less than a month ago. And we generated about 25,000 clicks over 2 days for one of our clients. The cost, or the commissions that we paid out to affiliates, came out to about $3,000. So our cost per click on that was about 28 cents per click, which is phenomenal. On Amazon, I'm spending at least between $1 and $1.50 per click. So I got way more eyeballs to my product listing page. It converted well, not as well as the traffic that's native to Amazon, or that's happening, or the searches that are starting on Amazon. But it still converted well. I'm getting these clicks for really cheap, and now they're in my marketing funnel, and I'm gonna start retargeting them with ads. I'm gonna start offering them promotions to buy the product. So all of this leads to additional revenue down the road. And I think that's one of the things that most brands haven't really grasped yet, and why it hasn't been adopted as much.
Yeah, that's huge on the retargeting side. I mean, having everyone in the funnel and your ability to then continue to talk to them right after they visited your product page. I know that my last company, I mean, that used to be a big deal for us on Google, Facebook. I feel like maybe it's less so now, but I remember we were getting big results back in the day when that was when Google was in full creep mode, just following you around. And I mean, Amazon's just its own walled garden, so they can kind of do that. Let's talk about, where do you find affiliates then? So you launch the program and you get your attribution links, and that's great. So you're able to kind of figure out who's coming from where in terms of the sales. But if you're looking for affiliates, or if you're looking for influencers, where do you guys go to try to fill that side of the partner pipeline?
Sure. So, I mean, there's obviously a variety of different platforms out there, Afluencer being one of them, but that's always a great place to start, especially when we're looking on the influencer side. From an affiliate standpoint, we see the benefits of working with a lot of websites a little bit more than we see with influencer. It's just difficult to run campaigns on influencer sometimes. It's difficult to get the engagement or the response rates. That's always a challenge on the influencer side. With platforms such as publications, such as review sites, such as benefit groups, all of that's a little bit easier because it's really relationship based. So a lot of that is a lot of grind. It's, going out, trying to find the right people to talk to, email, LinkedIn, social media, whatever it is, start having those conversations. But then once you've built the relationship, that's the great thing, is that you've already have it. So a lot of that is how we're doing it, going out there and really grinding. On the influencer side, we are using some platforms to try to bring some people in. But again, it's really difficult to find the right influencer sometimes, or the influencer that's really going to move the needle for a brand, versus like a website that's going to have a link that's going to drive traffic over time.
Yeah, gotcha. Is there any value in the Amazon App Store today? I was at, what conference was it earlier in the year? I'll think of it. One of the retail e-commerce ones, and their App Store person was there, and they were kind of talking it up, and I kind of looked it over with our developer, and we thought about doing something, and we couldn't figure out if anyone was actually using the App Store like they do on Shopify. It felt like no, like there's not, even though there's apps there and obviously no shortage of merchants, it felt like not a lot of maybe value or traffic, or people weren't getting a lot of value from apps. Is that fair to say? In your experience, sounds like you're kind of doing your own thing in terms of finding the affiliates and influencers and publishers and sites.
For sure. I mean, there are third-party tools for finding this stuff, and they do integrate with the platform, and they work to an extent. It really depends on what your needs are. We do use one of those for a lot of the for some of the affiliate recruiting, not all of it. It also helps generate a lot of links for us at volume, which is good, because right now the process of link generation on Amazon is all manual. So that helps us a lot.
Okay, it's all one at a time currently with the attribution link. So
it's one at a time or a bulk upload sheet in Excel. So it's like very, very manual.
Yeah,
and then it's sharing the links, making sure everything's correct, they're using them in the right spaces, being sure the attribution. So it's kind of a nightmare. So there are some tools that help with that, but yeah, in general, Amazon tends to develop a lot of tools within the platform itself. So another good example of this is they created the Creator Connections portal on Amazon, which is where you can also recruit influencers and affiliates, usually more influencers than anything. You create a campaign, you offer a promotion or a commission, and whatever influencers see it can apply for it. And then from there, they create the content and they're paid based on the sales they generate. So, they do develop a lot of that stuff in-house. The third-party tools, there's just so many out there. And I think that's one of the main challenges, is that it's very difficult for people to understand what's worth it and what's not. So most of them just either stick to the fundamentals, which is advertising software or inventory management software, and don't really expand beyond there when they're looking at different apps or different tools to integrate.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. Where do you see this stuff going on the affiliate side going forward? What's your trends are you watching, or where do you see this stuff heading in the year or two ahead?
I think it's going to keep growing at this point. I mean, when we look at Amazon itself, the platform, and we see this in Amazon's public filings, their advertising revenue keeps growing. There's more and more ads being, more and more money being spent on ads on the platform by a lot of bigger brands. So, 7-8 years ago, it was a completely different game on advertising, but steadily the cost of advertising has increased over time. That's why it's become more and more important to find other ways to acquire traffic for your product detail page. A lot of people are trying to do it with Google ads by pushing traffic to Amazon. Affiliate's a really good source for us. SEO is another way that some other people try to do it. We think that the need for this type of service is going to continue to grow over time. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for the right influencers or the right affiliates that can partner with brands and help them understand the benefit of this to actually be able to scale. So there's a variety of different ways to do that. Obviously, partnering with agencies, partnering with brands directly, all this type of stuff can have a lot of benefits in the long term for both the brand and the affiliate.
Yeah, gotcha. Thanks for kind of outlining that. Do you trust that more than you trust SEO at this point? I'm just curious because my own experience where it seems like it's something new every week. You don't know what AI is taking over. There's so much in flux. Feels like there's opportunity there, but it's hard to tell where it is, at least from my vantage point. Do you kind of trust, I guess, where affiliate marketing is going, at least because you have your own control over it versus SEO?
I think I do. SEO has a very long time component to it as well. Once you build something, it can have massive value, but you might be building something for a very long time before you start seeing the benefits. Whereas affiliate gives us the ability to leverage other people's audiences or other platforms' audiences. And that's a lot more scalable over time, is that these companies are already putting in the work to drive the traffic, whether it's a big publication, whether it's a review site, whether it's a YouTube channel per se. All of these people are putting in the work to grow their audience. And then what we're doing on the affiliate side is we're just leveraging that audience. So we're trying to find the best way to compensate them through it from a CPA plan or even a paid placement. And then obviously us benefiting as the brand owners from scaling our sales.
What is the breakdown, would you say, today between the CPA or commission type stuff and the paid placement?
I mean, there's a mix of everything. We typically try to stick to CPA because there's a lot of benefits, or there's a lot of ways to benefit both sides. We can offer a little bit of a higher commission, which Amazon Associates caps you out at 8%. We can go much higher and still have it be profitable for the brands, especially because we get that kickback from Amazon, which is the nice thing. So CPA works really well, and we've seen it work very well. Certain platforms we will work with on a paid placement basis, but it is difficult sometimes. Like a good example of this is that we just did a paid placement for a couple newsletters. And it seemed like it was perfect ICP for the brand we were working with. And they generated like virtually nothing in sales and I think they said they sent the email to like 100,000 twice, and like virtually nothing in sales. So like you're paying for a placement, not really moving the needle versus having everyone aligned on a CPA basis. Generally, that's the way that I prefer going. But if a great opportunity comes up, we're always looking at paid placements as well.
Yeah, sounds great. I hear you. So you never know with these things until you try. You have these done the same thing before. You have the newsletter go out and you think it's gonna be awesome. There's crickets. So it's nice to have the publisher always aligned with you, like you said, on the CPA side. So Mike, this has been a great conversation. Really appreciate you joining us, giving us the landscape. I've learned many things from you today. Things, over the last few years, you got me all caught up here. How can people find you online on social media and AMZ Advisors as well?
Sure. Well, the best place to find the company is the website, amzadvisors.com. On social media, you can also find us. AMZ Advisors is our name, is our handle on pretty much every platform. Me personally, you can reach out to me at Mike@AMZ Advisors or find me on LinkedIn. Those are the two best platforms for me. So.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. And then there's a certain level of company that you're looking to work with if someone's looking to engage with you on the AMZ side.
Yes, definitely. We're really looking for brands that in general are already having good Amazon sales value, probably have about 1,000 or more reviews on the Amazon platform, and also have decent brand awareness outside of Amazon. Those are really the ones that we can plug and play with and start really cranking up on the affiliate side. If you're a smaller brand, we can certainly work with you as well. It's just going to take a little bit more time, and we have to understand that the results are not going to be as great to begin with.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, right. So you're taking scale to more scale on the affiliate side. Well, thanks so much again, Mike Begg with AMZ Advisors. Mike, thanks again for the breakdown on the Amazon affiliate and beyond landscape. Appreciate the conversation.
Brett, thank you for having me. Really appreciate speaking with you today.